All right. Ryan, the Flash, Kingery, the Flash Garcia, and Devin Haney. Is he Black Jesus or is it the real Devin Haney? I can't remember what his alias is exactly, but Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are having a war, back and forth word of wars. Really, it's Devin Haney trying to start a war of words with Ryan Garcia, while Ryan Garcia is really trying to go get Gervonta Davis. But in the conversations that's going on about it, Robert Garcia made a prediction. Robert Garcia, the brother and trainer of Mikey Garcia, made a prediction about what he thought would happen in that fight. And I thought it was pretty funny because he made that and several other predictions. Let's talk about what what Robert Garcia has to say about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Let's do it in this video. All right. Welcome back for your quarantine boxing video of the day. Actually, I do 4. I talk on 4 topics every day. Thank you guys for attending and listening and leaving your comments in the comment section. Thank you for everybody. Truly thank you to everybody that supports the channel. What we're going to talk about in this video are 2 of the best up-and-coming fighters in the world, 2 of the best current lightweights in the world. Ryan Garcia, like I said his name, I think he's Ryan the Flash Garcia, and Devin Haney. Devin Haney fights with Devin Haney Promotions in a co-promotional deal with Matchroom Boxing. They fight on DAZN. Ryan Garcia is also fights with DAZN, but he is a Goldenboy promotion fighter, a protege of Canelo Alvarez, a promoted by Oscar De La Hoya. So of all of the, somewhat, media, according to the media, pretty boy Mexican fighters that have come around in the last 30 years, Ryan Garcia is a line of the 2 main. Actually, it's probably safe to just say the 2 big main Mexican money earning fighters of the last 30 years, since 1990, since whenever it was that Julio Cesar Chavez retired. Oscar De La Hoya blew up the spot, man. The Golden Boy had a bunch of great fights in the mid 90s, 2000s. Was a great fighter, man. Regardless of all of the stuff that goes on with him as a promoter, issues that he might have in his personal life, man, Oscar De La Hoya was a blessing to the sport of boxing, man, and he's a great champion. Fought all comers in that ring. Nothing really bad to say about Oscar De La Hoya in the ring. Oscar De La Hoya starts a promotional company. He, through his connections, finds Canelo Alvarez, young professional coming out of Mexico. He grows along with Floyd Mayweather Jr. And the Showtime contract that Floyd Mayweather Jr. had, and the partnership that Floyd and the informal partnership that Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy had with Mayweather Promotions. Canelo Alvarez is built on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s undercards. And boom, he fights, loses to Floyd Mayweather Jr. But once Floyd Mayweather Jr. retired, he had already established himself as the main Mexican attraction in the sport of boxing. So now you have he and Oscar De La Hoya working on the next guy who they believe can fill that spot. And that is Ryan the Flash Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia is a very solid fighter, very fast hands. He's tall, he's long. Technically sound, with the exception of his chin hanging up in the air like that, looking like Amir Khan. Somebody, man, I hate that I do not have like a photographic memory, and actually from all my college antics, my short-term memory is shot. But somebody in the comment section said that Ryan Garcia reminded him of Amir Khan. And I was like, man, I can really see it. They're both kind of straight up and down. They look like they're both roughly the same size, both kind of straight up and down. And both of them sit there with that chin just looking like it's just looking sweet, right? For any glove that might want to land upon that. So Anyway, Ryan Garcia coming into boxing, man. I was like, first couple times I saw him, I was like, man, I don't get it. Kind of pretty boy type of dude. He's got a good personality. More than likely, he's really going to be able to sell fights and all that. But I wasn't so sure in the ring. Same thing kind of was for Devin Haney, man. First couple times I saw Devin Haney, I was like, but I've been watching these. I was like, but as he continued to fight, there was a point in time for both of these guys where I saw a fight and I was like, yeah, these guys have really developed. Same thing for Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, maybe for the first 4 or 5 fights, because, with these guys, with Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson, and even kind of Teofimo Lopez, I started paying attention to these guys earlier in their career than I usually do. Devin Haney, I started paying to with once he started fighting on TV, right? Ryan Garcia started fighting on TV pretty early. Devin Haney spent a few years in Mexico, so I didn't see those fights. Shakur Stevenson pretty much jumped out the gate fighting on TV. So we got to see these guys. They're all excellent fighters. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, though, in the last fight that Ryan Garcia had, because Ryan Garcia now has turned into somebody that is not going to, he's got a big buzz around him because he's been knocking guys out in the first round. He knocked out I think it was Jason Duno in the first round. He knocks out Francisco Fonseca in the first round. So now after a couple of those, you're looking like killer number 1. So the Devin Haney jumps into the ring with Ryan Garcia and is like, hey, man, we need to make this fight. We need to make this fight. One thing I'll say, one of the many things positive that I have to say about Devin Haney is that Devin Haney and his father, Bill Haney, are very, very aware of the need to promote. They are building their brand and being aggressively trying to make fights. It just doesn't seem really like at this point in time that Eddie Hearn is paying, he's getting them good money from what I understand in these fights. So Devin Haney's definitely, banking up, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a Ryan Garcia fight out of Oscar De La Hoya. I think that's going to be a very tough fight. But Robert Garcia made a prediction about this fight and said that he believed that Devin Haney would lose to Ryan Garcia. The funny thing that I find out about that with that is, though, that Robert Garcia might have named like 6 fights. They all had Hispanic dudes in it, right? They were like, who do you think win? Canelo versus David Benavidez, right? He said, well, I think Canelo, but David Benavidez is right there. David Benavidez is the real deal. David Benavidez might be able to pull it off. That's a really close fight. Then he talked about, I think he also mentioned Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, and he said Ryan Garcia. Not much conversation, just Ryan Garcia. Then Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. He's like, I think Teofimo Lopez has everything that he needs to beat him. Right now, not that I have any problem with anything that he said, other than the Ryan Garcia. For Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, man, that's less. That's a little bit less than a pick'em fight, man. There's the strength that Ryan Garcia have, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is he has very fast hands, and he's got very good pop. I do not see Ryan Garcia as somebody, though, that is particularly agile and nimble on his feet. So Devin Haney, on the other hand, is somebody that is, Devin Haney's movement is something that I think is one of his strongest points. I haven't seen Devin Haney necessarily be a tremendous power puncher, but he's got enough power to keep people honest. But his hand speed, his reflexes, his defense, and all of that, I think all of those are advantages over Ryan Garcia. And I think if Ryan Garcia really can't catch him with something, then Devin Haney more than likely is going to walk to a 12-round decision win over Ryan Garcia, provided that everything is on the up and up. I don't think everything would be on the up and up because of what I mentioned in the beginning of the video, man, that Ryan Garcia is in that line of Oscar De La Hoya versus Oscar De La Hoya, then Canelo Alvarez, then Ryan Garcia, because Canelo Alvarez doesn't have much longer, maybe a couple more years, but I think Canelo Alvarez, definitely is at the second half, the last third of his career is probably the safer way to say it. So he's about to go. Who's going to be the next big star for Oscar De La Hoya? Who's going to be the next golden boy? The golden boy for Mexican American fighters, fight fans, and people. Man, I think there's a lot of people that like Canelo, like Oscar De La Hoya, but because they're tremendous fighters. But who's going to be the next guy? You know, it's probably not going to be the Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz, who's an excellent fighter up there at welterweight, man, he might very well be a killer and be one of the best guys at 147. Personally, I have Jaron Ennis. Over him, but I understand a lot of the excitement, but he doesn't really have that. He doesn't bring the same, what should be irrelevant, but really isn't in boxing. The fact that he doesn't look like Ryan Garcia. So Ryan Garcia is going to be the one that they're going to try to bring up and build up. And as a result of that, he's going to be the one that gets some funny decisions. And you might like the fact that he gets these funny decisions, but more than likely, he's going to be getting some funny decisions. If he gets pushed and that fight gets close, a lot of those times, Ryan Garcia is going to get the benefit of that doubt. And because that was the case with Oscar De La Hoya up until whenever he had fights with, he's going to fight a Don King fighter. Unless he's going to fight a Don King fighter who can equalize a lot of that crap, at least in my impression of it was that Bob Arum, and when Bob Arum and Don King fighters fight each other, that Don King is every bit as savvy as Bob Arum, knows the game just as well, knows all those tricks just as well, and definitely as well as Oscar De La Hoya. He might be able to work that out and not have his fighter get ripped off. But aside from that, it's going to be very, very, very tough to beat somebody like a Ryan Garcia, man. Especially if he ever really has a fight that catapults him into really making a lot of money for the networks and all that. They're the kind of champion that the guy wants. So that's why I would say, like, if Devin Haney's going to beat him, man, Devin Haney's got to really beat Ryan Garcia to beat him, because Ryan Garcia is going to have a machine behind him. He's going to have the perception, that he's pretty much, that he's good for boxing, that the way that he looks and the way that he talks is going to be something that's going to cross over and bring in a lot of fans. So, more than likely he's going to be protected. But as far as who's the better fighter right now, I think the person that's demonstrated that is Devin Haney. Not that Ryan Garcia is a slouch, because he's not. He just got that Amir Khan look to him that makes me wonder, when's the hammer going to fall, But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.